Let's start at the beginning. How would you describe your sound?
Oh man, loaded question. My mother could not fall asleep at night without listening to country music. She had a little clock radio on her bedside table. She would crank up the local country radio station literally all night long. I don't think my dad slept one peep their entire marriage because of that. My dad, on the other hand, is a hippie. He introduced me to all the legends of rock and roll. He came downstairs one day. I was 10 years old. He had a jean jacket on with the collar popped, and then he had a little matching jean jacket for me. He said, Jay, it's time for you to go to your first concert. So my very first concert was Kansas opening up for Styx in a little town, Waterloo, Iowa. And unbelievable experience. Every record, every vinyl my dad brought home, I would literally lock myself in my room, obsess over it. That's actually how I learned how to play guitar too. So, and then growing up in the church, so kind of all the sounds have come together. Rock meets, country radio sounding meets that emotional element and worship music as well. So it's weird. I feel like the lines between genres are blurring, and for me, it's always just important to be authentic as an artist.
This is such a heartfelt song you have out now. There is a sweet sentiment into No Prayer Like Mama's, and obviously a sad, bittersweet
Yeah,
message to it. Talk about the inspiration behind it, please.
yeah. Going a couple years back, my mother was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. She was 51. That's what they call it, early onset, because she was so young. It took her life in 2 years and 9 months, which is very rare. Obviously, devastated myself and my family. She was the most selfless, loving, kind person, not just a mother. So she would do anything for me if I was in that situation. So I thought, what can I do for her? I wrote her a song out of heartbreak and to fight for her. And I'll never preach, but I will express my faith. I believe that God used it in the way that He did. That song went on to help raise $100 million to help fight against Alzheimer's. Um, so I went and did The Voice. I never thought that I would be on the guy on The Voice. Honestly, I always thought it was kind of a silly thought to be on TV. And then they called me 5 years in a row, and I kindly declined. This last year, They called me, and I said, you know what? I feel like I've taken because I never really saw myself as an artist until recently. I was more of a philanthropist. I'm being the face for a really hard thing to talk about, Alzheimer's, and so they called me. I thought, you know what? I've taken this as far as I can on my own. What better way to put more eyes and ears on this than to go on The Voice? So I pleaded with them, if I'm going to do this, please tell my story and let me sing this song. And they did. They told it in a more beautiful way than I could have ever expressed myself. I was the only one that got to sing an original song on The Voice. They let me sing Blank Stares and dedicate it to my mother. And so coming off that show, I'm actually going to be able to announce really soon that I signed a deal with a new team. I can't say who it is quite yet. And I started, thinking like I kind of feel like it's time to wrap up a season of my life. I will always be the Alzheimer's guy. I literally made my mother a promise on her deathbed. I said, I will always tell your story, no matter what stage I'm on, where I'm at, what interview, I will always tell your story. So I will always be that guy. But I wanted to I'm also the guy that's covered in tattoos. I have a 5-piece band. We rock and roll. We love to party and have a good time. All my friends know me as that guy. So I thought I want to show that now with my music. If I'm going to do this artist thing, I'm going to go all in and do it the right way. We put on a really fun rock and roll party show, and then I take people to church and talk about Alzheimer's. So I thought, you know what? I finally have truly gotten to a place in my life where I feel healed and okay. And I have chosen to believe that I have a mother that she did pass away. It was really sad, but I believe she went home and she's happy now and she's healed. And I believe she's still watching me and she's still guiding me and praying for me. So, prayer like mama's, there's a sadness to it, but also it's a happy thing. Like, if you've lost someone, like how cool to believe that they're actually still with you. They're still praying for you. They're still guiding you and loving you from afar. And so that's what No Prayer Like Mama's is. It's a book into a chapter in my life and hopefully a song that people resonate with.
Well, Tessa and Dustin Storm did an amazing job with this video for it. It's super emotional, it's sweet, it's endearing. Was it difficult though for you to film it emotionally, or was it sort of, cathartic for you?
Yeah, I would say it was more healing. It was I kind of treated shooting this music video like how I do like going to play a show at a venue. I never do my research. I never look it up. I never know if it's going to be a small venue, a big venue. And I kind of went into that with this. Tessa and Dustin, the music video directors. It's crazy how we met. We just became good friends by happenstance. We had hired them to shoot our wedding video, and they shot a music video for Kylie Morgan, my wife, for her song "Good Hands." And I watched it with Kylie, and we both like cried. I'm just like, what? Like that was their first music video they ever shot, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to hire them to shoot No Prayer Like Mama's. And they immediately had this beautiful vision. And we were talking about locations. And, we were trying to save money, and keep within a budget. And then they sent me a picture of this place called The Pretty Place, and it's in South Carolina. It is a chapel at a church camp, like a YMCA church camp. The chapel's built into the side of a mountain, and the whole back side of this chapel is open. It's knocked out, and it's overlooking like 20 miles of mountains. And I kept seeing these videos on TikTok. This place went viral as the sun's rising. People are like worshiping in this chapel, looking at this beautiful view. And I was like, you know what? I don't care how much it costs. Let's just find a way. And so Tessa ended up calling the event coordinator for the Pretty Place. And they said, we've never done a music video. We're really not open to it. We rent this space for $2,300 every 2 hours. And I was like, holy smokes. So I was like, well, maybe we're not doing it there. And then Tessa goes, you know what? God's put it on my heart to call them back. So she called them back. She basically pleaded our case, shared my entire story with them, and sent them links, whatever she could find. He said, you know what? This will probably be the first and last music video we ever do here, and we're going to offer it to Jay for free. And so I walked into it just knowing this is going to be a special day. We had to be there at like 5:30 in the morning, and I did not expect that feeling though. When I wrote this song, I was hoping it would, bring a sense of healing to me. The music video and filming it is what did that for me. Most stunning view. The sun's rising at 5:30 in the morning, and we're thinking we're gonna have this beautiful landscape behind us for the entire filming of the performance shots for this video, and then all these clouds roll in. I'm like, oh no, it's destroying our view. And then I thought, you know what? Let's just do it anyways. Let's see what happens. Right when I got to the first hook of the first chorus, ain't no prayer like mama's. I swear to God, this is so cheesy, but a sunbeam came down and hit me on the face. I was like, and then the clouds started parting for the rest of the day. It just got more and more beautiful. I was like, man, I felt a presence there, and I felt like, mom was saying it's okay to move on, and God was saying that to me. And I look at Tessa and she's crying and I'm crying. And I was like, you know what? I don't care how many people see this video. I just care that the right people see it, you know? So,
Are any of the proceeds from the song going towards Alzheimer's Association or any Alzheimer's related things? Or maybe when you're touring, do part of the tickets sales go to the Alzheimer's Association?
always, absolutely. I mean,
Good.
percent on merchandise, a percentage of my music. Everything that I do, I would say 90% of the shows that I played, I tie them to the benefit to the cause. And even if it's not, if it's for another cause, everyone always asks me, can we give a percentage of what we earn from ticket sales to the Alzheimer's Association? I'm like, yes, please. So I always connect them with Jen over at the National Alzheimer's Association, and it's something, like I said, it's a promise I made to my mother. So it's a great segue, this song, to I actually perform it right before Blank Stares now. And and yeah, we get to paint this beautiful picture of it's a sad thing, but there's beauty that comes from the ashes. So yeah, to answer your question.
Will there be a full album or an EP coming here shortly? Or are you focused now on creating additional singles to maybe tie into something full in the near future now that you mentioned you're signing somewhere else?
Yeah. So we just had a team meeting yesterday, and my vision has been to, okay, like I've told this story, I've really covered this weighty topic the best that I can, and I will always make that will always be the forefront of what I do. But I really, really desire to share fun songs, upbeat songs, and start. I mean, summer's right around the corner, so we decided we're gonna drop a really fun song coming up with another music video, and I really want to blow people's minds and show them another side of me. You know, people are expecting to come to my show or listen to one of my songs and cry. Now I want them to dance their butts off and have the time of their lives. It is so time for that. My wife Kylie would agree. And so while we're about prepping to release that fun song, um, God, I cannot wait. It's so fun. We're also working on it's going to be either like a 6, 7 song EP or a full length. And then I'm just gonna keep dropping music and music videos for all time. So it's gonna be a fun year.
Lots to come for you. I'm super excited. Um, you mentioned that you were on The Voice, as we know. Was there some advice that you were given by someone or someone's in particular that you've really taken to heart going forward with the music you're making now?
Yeah, so it was for me like, you go on that show and you come from Nashville and you're in in the country genre or country singer. People see you as that or you present yourself as that. Everyone assumes you're probably going to be working with Blake Shelton. Pretty crazy that I got to sneak in right before he was done with the show. This is his last season. So I think everyone assumed I was probably going to go that route. I have always been a Gwen Stefani fan. I just remember being middle school and bananas blaring on the bus before like wrestling practice. I've always thought she was stunning, and I'm just like, gosh dang, like you always wonder how old is this lady? She's 54 years old, and I meet her in person. I like up close interface. She hugs me and kisses me on the neck. And I'm like, I look back at her. She looks like she's frozen in time, like 30, maybe 30 years old. She is stunningly beautiful. And so going into it, I literally told all the producers like I want to work with Gwen. You know, I love Blake to death. You got to respect the guy, but I'm a fan of Gwen Stefani, and I got a huge crush on her. So I took that route, and it was cool to see. Just she took the time to really listen to me, and she said when she heard my voice, she said I've opened up for all the rock bands. All back in the late '90s, early 2000s, she opened up for Bush and Matchbox 20. I think her ex-husband was a lead singer of Bush, and Three Doors Down and all those guys. And she goes, "You remind me so much, and you sound just like those guys." She goes, "But you have this other side to you." And she goes, that's how people connect to you. And she said, no matter what happens, just never lose that soft, intimate, heartfelt side. And so she really reminded me how important that is just to be a real dude and don't be afraid to be emotional and to pull back. And we really brought that to the performance, because of that, it really calmed me down and made me understand that it's okay to be the sentimental guy. Her and Blake ended up surprising me. I still am just like, what happened? Blake had called me. This is weird to say. Blake reached out to me and asked if I would perform at his hometown, Old Red, where he like grew up, where he's from in Tishomingo, Oklahoma. It was my last show of the year. I snuck it in. So I played a show in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and had to drive through the night to get to Oklahoma to make this show. We get there, we do our sound check, and I'm like, is this guy gonna show up? Because all the staff members were like polishing the tables and like being like crazy, like a little old red, and there's like, I don't know, like 50 staff members like polishing everything. I'm like, what's happening here? And we come back after our sound check, come back from the hotel, and the place is packed wall to wall. There's a line down the street. I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? So we go down to the green room, and my guitarist looks at me and he goes, "Who's that cute blonde sitting on the couch?" And I look and well, that's Gwen Stefani. And Gwen came up, hugged me. I shook Blake's hand and I was like, what the heck? She goes, Jay, honestly, Blake woke me up this morning and said, by the way, we're gonna charter the jet, and how that happened. And it was cool to see them also behind the scenes, like when you're on camera doing TV, they're doing a job and they're putting on, and to see them cut, like Gwen showed up in a hoodie with their hair up and Blake had camo on with the big fat gray beard, and they were just like normal people. Like we were just hanging out, and they were so kind, and they wanted to put all the focus on me and talk about me. Which, how cool that they're like these huge name, like rule the earth A-list stars, and they really took the time to like come down to my level and support me. And so it meant a lot. And I didn't think this going in, but I grew a lot from the experience. I had to spend 2 months in LA during the filming process, a little over that, completely secluded by myself. We weren't allowed to have any drinks. So I, first time ever, like I'm the guy that always has a beer in his hand every night. Didn't have a drop of alcohol for 2 months, and it was a very rewarding, awesome experience. I'm so glad that I did it.
Who would you love then? Of course, outside of Gwen and Blake, who would you love to collaborate with on a song in the future?
Oh my gosh. Well, Kylie, my wife, we have plans for that in the future. She's got a single on the radio right now, and she's very stubborn on I am a strong female and I'm getting on my feet before we're doing anything together. So, and I'm the same way. So, once our careers kind of get elevated a little more, I would love to do things with Kylie, release music together, tour together. And then, like I said, I love rock and roll. So I love the idea of bringing like an outsider into the country world, but someone that's very well known. I'm a huge Daughtry fan. Actually made friends with Chris Daughtry. I didn't know this, but he's an advocate for the National Alzheimer's Association as well. He lost his grandmother to the disease, and we actually met in Nashville at like a celebrity Alzheimer's filming event. And the dude literally like he was walking into the studio as I was walking out, and I don't fangirl over anyone unless you're Gwen Stefani. And he walked past me, and I took a double take. I'm like, oh my, Chris Daughtry. I can't believe it. I have to shake your hand. And he mentioned something about my bracelets. I was wearing Alzheimer's bracelets. They're black beads and then one bead purple. And when I sell them at shows, I give away, half the proceeds to Alzheimer's. And he goes, "Cool bracelet, man." I said, "Well, it's yours." And I just handed it to him. And he goes, "Well, dang, bracelet for bracelet then." And he handed me this bracelet. He goes, I got this from China, and it was $5,000." And I was like, "Don't give that to me." He put it on my wrist. I literally put it in my closet, and I never won it because I'm terrified that I'm gonna lose it or break it. So
I
yeah,
know, right?
I would
That's
love to do.
going in like your safety deposit box, just never touching it, framing it or something.
Yeah,
You got yeah.
I'm like, take that back. What the heck? I mean, I think that showed like who he really is, and he's done a lot for the Alzheimer's Association as well. And then he lost his daughter and saw that whole story and how he responded to it. And I think he's this big rocker guy that's covered in tattoos, and some people see him in that light. But at the end of the day, he has this big heart, and I've got to see a glimpse of it. So I think it'd be cool to do something with him down the road. I'm gonna keep shooting for that and trying for that until it happens.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the incredible music you make?
I would say, first of all, fan is a weird word for me. I never understood social media and media in general until I brought my mom on stage when she was sick, opening up for Jake Owen. And I saw thousands of people go quiet and respond to something and show me at the core of us, all humans are good and connected. And that story in that video ended up on social media. For me, it shows likes and followers and numbers. I see a place that's a safe place and a community. So I would say if you're a part of my community, if you followed along, welcome. And you have a safe place with me always, and that's why I offer my music, and I hope you find love and healing and connectivity through it.